This is our weekly chat with head softball coach David Williams on MSUEagles.com. And Coach, I know you were able to get outside a little bit this January and February, but probably good to get down to the Sunshine State, and you guys opened up with 4 games at the Stetson Leadoff Classic. Just give us kind of your overall thoughts coming out of that season opening tournament.
It went pretty well. We went 2-2. Happy with 2 wins. Not happy about 2 losses, obviously, but there's some really positive things that came out of that. And then we took some things away from it that we need to work on this week as we head into this upcoming weekend. So good chance to get outside, see some other opponents, put some people in some positions, and obviously put them in situations that you can't simulate in practice. And now we know what to do to prepare them for the next time those things happen, and we'll be ready for our upcoming games.
You were telling me off camera you were pretty pleased overall with the offense. Your team hit .277 in the 4 games combined, had 6 doubles, a couple of home runs. Just expand on that and what you saw from an offensive standpoint that you liked.
Well, we were very aggressive at the plate. At the same time, we were a little bit disciplined. We started making some really good adjustments in the games. Latter part of the Akron game, we did an excellent job in the Stetson game of making some adjustments. Rhode Island, we did a good job. Michigan State had a really good pitching plan against us. They did an excellent job, had 2 good pitchers throwing. But we really did a good job as far as being aggressive and trying to create some opportunities for ourselves. Hit the ball really well. We had a lot of hits against Akron and Rhode Island in particular, but even against Stetson. We didn't have quite as many hits, but we did hit the ball well. We drove it well. We just hit line drives right at people. Michigan State game, we kind of struggled a little bit to get on there. We popped up a lot against them, but really pleased with how well we swung the bat and some of the in-game adjustments we made. So that's really positive as we move forward.
I guess the one bright spot from a pitching standpoint was your true freshman, Mackenzie Grossman. She picked up her first collegiate win, a 3-flat ERA, and actually pitched a team-high 14 innings for you. Just assess her play and what you expect from her moving forward.
Well, anytime you throw a freshman out there, you're not quite sure what you're going to get. In the first couple innings, she obviously was visibly nervous, but she did settle down and stepped up and got us the win against Akron and did a really good job, and then threw well against some other opponents. She threw really well against Michigan State, I thought, and she started to settle in a little bit. Kenzie seems to be one of those players, and we haven't been around her a long time, but she seems to be one of those players. She's just kind of even keel, doesn't let a whole lot bother her too much, and she really kind of settled in and was locked in a little bit and settled down. And I think once she gets some more innings under her belt and she starts to understand her role and understand what she's capable of, I think she'll be a very productive pitcher for us.
Everybody talks about pitching and how important it is in the sport of softball, and I know the 7 defenders behind the pitcher are very important too. We were talking off camera that your team unfortunately allowed some unearned runs, and that kind of opened up some bigger innings for the opponents, and you take those errors away and you're right there with teams like Michigan State.
Yeah, I mean, we had some really unfortunate innings. We did make a few errors, and obviously, once you get on a field and you put your team in game situations, sometimes you're not aware of some of the things that you might need to work on, and you take those things away and you're ready for the next time. So we've got a list of things that we're going to try to take care of this week before we head down to Kennesaw. Hopefully we sharpen up those areas and we can be a little more solid on defense. But overall, our defense really did play well. We did make a few mistakes here and there, but it's opening weekend. Everybody made those mistakes. So hopefully we can just learn from that and move forward.
You've got 5 consecutive non-conference tournaments to open up the season. I believe that's a total of 20 games. Tell the viewers out there, just kind of give them the week-to-week landscape as far as travel and then your workouts and possibly watching a little bit of film, but then getting back on the practice field before you head to the next tournament. Because I know most of these are Friday, Saturday. So just take the fans through Sunday until you depart again for Georgia.
Well, you're really limited in your practice time. You only have a few days back on campus where they're in class and you can practice, and then you're leaving again. So right now it's just a lot of preparation, getting things together, trying to prepare for the next opponent, and gather some scouting reports, come up with a game plan, while at the same time assessing your performance from the last weekend and really trying to figure out what you need to work on for the upcoming weekend. But we are on the road a lot these first 5 weeks, and we're here 3, maybe 4 days at a time, depending on the travel schedule. So, while you're here, you're trying to get caught up on it as much as you can, not just practice and scouting reports, but the players are getting their classwork done and getting caught up with that, and then also trying to get ahead to prepare for being missed. But you also try to catch up on life. You go home and you do laundry and you do those types of things. So it's kind of a whirlwind. You're kind of rushed a little bit. So, it's crazy. We turn around and leave again 2 days from now, and I feel like we just got home. So that's our life for the first 5 weeks, but we'll settle down. And once we hit March, we don't really travel for almost a month. So that's going to be really nice. Having almost 4 full weeks here at home and not having to get on a bus or a plane, and just really being able to enjoy being here and playing on our own field, not having to worry about being on the road.
And it's good for you to be able to play daddy 3 or 4 days at a time, right?
Yeah, it is. It's really fun to be dad 3 and 4 days at a time, and it's really hard to be gone 3 and 4 days at a time though too.
Sure.
It's nice being home, not only to be home and be with your family, but it's just nice to have a normal routine.
Give us a final comment, if you would, on the upcoming tournament. We alluded to your team traveling to Kennesaw, Georgia. The host Owls will be one of 4 teams down there. You've got nationally ranked Kentucky, IUPUI, and Southern Illinois facing your team this weekend.
I think on paper, this is probably going to be the toughest weekend that we have by far. Like you mentioned, Kentucky, who's ranked number 6 in the country, they're going to be there. So obviously that presents a huge challenge within itself. But IUPUI, I messed it up. IUPUI, they are actually a really solid team. They've got quite a few returners. They've got a really good offense. So I think one of the biggest things there is we're going to have to score some runs and limit their opportunities. But they're a pretty solid team, as is Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois has traditionally had some really good years. They didn't perform probably quite as well as they would like the opening weekend, but I don't think that that's any indication of the type of team that they are. They obviously always put a good product on the field, and I think that's going to be a challenge. And Kennesaw is always a contender in the ASUN. Kennesaw is going to be a really good program. They've got a lot of local talent out of Georgia there, and they do a great job down there with what they have. And they're going to contend for the ASUN. They're going to contend possibly for an NCAA regional bid. So on paper, I would say this is probably the toughest weekend we have, top to bottom. And we're really going to have to step up this weekend and learn a lot from this weekend as we move forward. I think that we can do well this weekend if we perform to the best of our capabilities. I think we can get some wins and do what we need to do. And what we'd really like to do is come out 4-0. I mean, everybody wants to win every game. So we're going to go down there and challenge and try to take every game that we can. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we're pushing ourselves by playing that better competition.
David, have a safe trip and good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you.
That's a look at Morehead State softball. Join us again next week for our weekly chat with head coach David Williams.